cent wings.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $24.11 per hour, which grows to $28 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $32.76 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mix Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical, and retirement benefits, paid time off, and we pay for CDL training. Apply today to earn an average total compensation of $50,000 to $60,000 your first year driving. From Nebco's beginnings in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
On the block with Strick and Austin.
The Macho Man. That's how my voice, I feel like, sounds right now. If I sound like Randy the Macho Man all day, don't worry about it, baby. It'll be okay.
Randy Savage, Eric Strickland.
A little correlation.
I've never seen you and Randy Savage in the same room together.
Little correlation.
All
I have to do is just dress up real funky, like with some glasses, a nice little hat.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Welcome in to the Ahman Green Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. 12-year NFL veteran.
He's got some speed to go with strength.
Huskers and Green Bay Packers Hall of Famer.
Shovel pass to Green into Vikings territory. Finally down.
And University of Nebraska eSports coach.
Green all by himself. 20, 10, touchdown. 98 yards and a Lambeau leap.
Here is your host, Ahman Green.
Welcome into the Ahman Green Show. Waiting to get him connected here on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Austin Norman, taking you through the next hour with the Husker Hall of Famer, the NFL legend, Ahman Green. Looking forward to the weekly conversation that we have with him. Appreciate him being a part of everything that we're doing here at 93.7 The Ticket. If there's anything you want to pick Ahman's brain about, that's right, just about anything. You can call, text, tweet, all that good stuff, 402-464-5685. Those are the numbers for you to get into the program here tonight and any of your favorite ticket programs. Thank you for your support of us here at The Ticket. We appreciate everything that you do for us. It's our honor to be bringing you the Husker legends. I mean, I'm on with Strick every day for a couple hours and Jay and Kenny in the building. And Thursdays are great because I go straight in from those guys to getting to talk with Ahman Green, a name I definitely knew growing up and someone that all these college kids now at the University of Nebraska Lincoln are, lucky enough to work with. A guy that, he's not even doing football coaching. He's coaching video games. Not only was he good enough at football at Nebraska to make it to the bigs, to the pros, to play as long as he did there, but now he completely switched lanes. And that's just how life isn't always fair, right? It's just not. Where he can be an NFL caliber running back and then go essentially start his own program from scratch at Nebraska, coaching video games. He's that good at multiple things. And that's why we're lucky enough to have him on, pick his brain, talk to him about everything going on in his world and in his realm. So again, we're waiting to connect with him, 402-464-5685. If you have any thoughts for Ahman. News of the day, while we wait for that, Mike Budenholzer, coach of the Bucs, gets fired. He was in Atlanta for a handful of years, 5 years, in fact. Didn't have the best results. I mean, he won 60 games, 48 games, 43 games, but his first year, they go 38-44. The last year, they go 24-58. Then he goes to the Bucs just right after that. Doesn't even take a year off, wins 60 games his first year, 56 games in even the COVID shortened season. The next one after that, post-bubble, 46-26. They got a late start on that season, and they win a title. They beat the Phoenix Suns to do that. And the last 2 years, 51 and 31 last season, and then 58 and 24 this season. It's the first time in 50 some years that a team had the best overall record. They were a 1 seed, and they won either no playoff games or one playoff game. And that's what we saw with the Milwaukee Bucks this year. But there he is. Let's bring him in, the Husker Hall of Famer, the NFL legend as well, Mr. Ahman Green, the star of the show. AG, what's going on, man?
Man, nothing much. Austin, how you doing? Can you hear me okay?
Oh, yeah, you are coming through loud and clear.
All right.
Let's start with this, Ahman. A couple weeks left in the semester.
Yeah.
How are you feeling? How are the kids feeling? Are they ready to be done? You ready to be done? Still got gas in the tank? Where are they at?
I got gas in the tank. I don't think they do. And like I opened, like I remember when I started first week of class, which was March 20th, the week of March 20th, and I looked at and I thought about it. I'm like, man, this is a 3:30 class. It is about video games, but it's 3:30. How focused will they be at 3:30? Because I remember me at 3:30 when I was 18, 19, 20 in Lincoln, and it's like, well, usually by 3:30 we're already in football practice. I wasn't in class anymore. So I was like, look, bear with me. I understand this is your last class of the day. We're talking about video games, but we're going to get into obviously team development, player development first. Then we can have our fun side conversations, but just hang in there for at least a good solid hour and a half. Give me that. And so every week they get into it sometimes, and sometimes they just that day. The Mondays have been the worst in the last 2 weeks, where I'm like, everybody just look like The Walking Dead, and so I'm like, are y'all? How was your Monday? And they look at me like, you really asking me that right now? So I'm like, look, I appreciate. Look, just give me some focus for maybe an hour, and then we could get into something that'll be more get you out of your seat, blood flow, all that. And they like, oh, they kind of give me like a nod, and then I'm like, okay, at least I can get a nod, like yes, they agree with me, because I understand. It's the last hour of the day, last class of the day for most of them, and semesters coming to a bitter end. So a lot of them, I'm not sure how many seniors I have in the class, but either way, it's the end of the school year, and they've been at it since September, and now they're ready for a break. So I definitely understand that. I relate to it. So I was like, look, I open every class, like, how was your day, and just hang in there. When I don't have much today, I could give you this, and then we could discuss it, and then we could get out of here. How about that? And everybody face lights up when I say that. So you got to read the room as a teacher.
So Mondays, like you've said, are the toughest days for your students. When you were in college and then through the pros, what was the toughest day of the week for Ahman Green to get through?
I see. I was the anomaly. I was the kid that liked school. I love going to school, and then I love the process of practicing. So I say a bad day for me was the next day after a loss. So if we lost, which at Nebraska didn't happen but twice, and I hated that loss because I wasn't in the first loss. It was against Texas. Oh no, the second loss against Texas at the Alamo Bowl for the Big 12 championship. I was at home with a broke foot, so I hated it. It was not fun watching that game. But then once I got to the league, and obviously in high school too, I say the league more in general was when I got older, and I was so, I would say, hard on myself. I would look at all of my mistakes in the game, even in a win, but even in a loss, I would look at them and dissect them to the point to where I was literally harassing myself. Like, why did you do that? Why did you make that mistake? What was I thinking when that play happened and I fumbled the ball, or I went the wrong direction, I missed the block, or I dropped the pass? I'm beating myself up, and part of it obviously is the reason why I played the way I did, and then other part of it was like I drove my wife crazy because she's like, "You played good though. You had a touchdown, you had 100 yards rushing." I'm like, "But I did this and that." Then she's like, "You're the only one that knows that. You know that. You realize that. None of us knew that. Like, I didn't know that you missed that block on that play. And I did see your fumble, but she's like, fumbles happen." I'm like, "Yeah, fumbles happen, but I just still got to hold on to the ball. That's my job." So it was just something that I was a stickler. I was picky on myself so bad that she would help me. get out of that headspace of giving myself, more of a pat on the back than just always just continually being, constantly picking and nitpicking at myself. But obviously that was like the good and bad of myself, making myself and staying on that high level of gameplay.
Guys, find yourself a good woman. They go a long way. They're
Yes,
awesome. They help out.
exactly.
We can
Yeah.
both attest to that. But let's touch on that a little further, Ahman. You mentioned, you being your critic, right? Your toughest critic, nitpicking, finding that little thing you can do better, and having someone alongside you to pat you on the back and say, "Hey, good job." How important is it to find that balance between striving to improve but not getting too far down on yourself, on understanding what you do well without getting too high?
Yeah, it's a fine balance. It's a 50-50 balance because you want to be at your top every time, but you don't want to beat yourself so much where you just don't want to do it, whatever that it is. You don't want to play football. You don't want to play Valorant. You don't want to play. You don't want to go to work. You don't want to beat yourself up that bad where you don't want to go to work. You want to beat yourself up enough to say, now I know what I did wrong, and this is what I'm gonna do to get better. And then most likely I'm not going to beat myself up that much because I already know what to do to get better. That's where you want to get. Once you stay in that zone right there, then you'll progress, get better and better at it, whatever you do.
Who are the people that you went to help you learn, to give you some of those little nits to pick? Who are those people you went to for that support, that affirmation?
I would say when I was a kid, it was my family, my brothers, Nikki, Jerry. They played football. They played sports. Jerry was a cop for a long time in Omaha. Nikki, my brother Nikki was IT. He got his degree in computer science and was in the military. Coached me up in little league. So and had a family. They both had families. My sister Tasha too had a family. So going to them because they, some of it was just being a kid, and just learning from, as I grew up and what they went through when they were in high school or middle school and stuff like that. Then my mom and dad, talking to them about when I had a rough day at school, a rough day at practice for football, or baseball, or track, and my dad teaching me little lessons through his when he was a kid, and he's like, oh, I remember this time kind of like that. I had a day where I missed this block or I didn't pass whatever that story he would tell me, and it would just kind of settle me down and be like, you know what, it's not just me. I didn't do great on that test where I probably should have studied a little bit harder, but but everybody has that one or two tests and you don't pass it or you don't grade out the best, but you keep, you have that conversation to say, okay, for one, I'm not alone. I'm not perfect. Nobody is, but I can now I know that it was not just me. Other people have been through it. Now I can just work through it and get ready for the next one and put my best foot forward then, basically.
You're in the locker room. I'm sure you see teammates that, pat themselves on the back a lot, some that get really far down on themselves. When you have to bring those guys back to where they need to be, that 50-50 balance, is that players that go up to each other? Is that position coach? Is that Coach Osborne? Who's the one that goes to those guys?
I say, shoot, when I was in the locker room, it was like a mixture more of like Coach Solich, me being a running back, and then the guys, myself, Lawrence, Clinton, Damon, Jay Sims, Brian, Brian Schuster, Joel, Jeff Makovica, and Tony, Tom, Steve. I'm sorry, Steve Raymond. Those guys. I was in the running back room. We'll just bounce stuff off each other because we watched ourselves. We watched film on ourselves. We watched when we had good plays. We watched when we had bad plays. So we'll kind of, we were a big family, so we were able to make jabs at each other, make fun of each other. And then at the same time, it's basically building us up too, because it's like, hey man, I did that yesterday. Don't worry about it. Just don't do it again, or you're gonna lose your job or something like that. But to kind of just say, hey, we're all in this together, and we're gonna grow together, good and bad, and that's gonna help us, continue to mentally get strong. Because that's those conversations I used to have with LP, with Clinton. We're all competing for the same job. We all trying to be the starting running back, and I realized that, and it's like, well, Lawrence was a starting running back. He didn't have to help me. He didn't have to give me tips. Clinton Childs, we call him CC. He didn't have to do that. Same with Jay Sims. Same with Damon Benny. In hindsight, they probably, man, I shouldn't have helped that kid. That kid had enough. He was going to be the guy anyway. So, but they didn't. And I had the same experience when I got to Green Bay. Dorsey Levens did the same thing. He just told me a story because we do a show together. He told me a story that when I got traded to from Green Bay to from Seattle to Green Bay, that my former teammate Ricky Waters at that time, he was a Seahawk with me, and he said he called Dorsey up because they went to Notre Dame together, and he said to Dorsey, "Hey, AG is good. You may not want to help him out. He don't need much. That boy's good." And then Dorsey's like, "Man, no, no, no. I'm gonna help him out." And he said, "You know what, man?" He said, "Man, bump that. I should have not helped you, man. You were already there." He said, but we were like, we still, like I said, we have a podcast together. So that right there, it bonded us, and now we're more than friends. Game is over. He's been out the game a long time. I've been out the game a long time, and that's what we could laugh about now. Is that those moments where it could have been real tense in the room because we're all fighting to be the guy. And I think that's where college football, it gets serious. Pro football, obviously, real serious. But you got to realize, hey, y'all wearing the same color jerseys. I understand about contracts and all that, and somebody's gonna get paid more than somebody else. Yes, but now that is gonna eventually go away. You'll be done with football. Then what you got? You should have spent that time getting to know that player that's in there fighting for the same job, fighting in the same uniform as you. And then maybe when you're done, you picked up a good friend or teammate or another teammate in another part of life. And now me and Dorsey and some of the guys like Gilbert, we're on the talk show together, and we just have a great time. We laugh for about an hour, like what we're doing here, Austin. And so it is something that where you got that that competition is there, but don't let that push you away from getting to know that player and being his friend and being at least at the worst case, at least be his friend in the locker room because y'all for the same cause. At least have that respect. And then outside, maybe y'all don't hang out a lot. That's cool. But at least in that locker room, y'all respect each other. Y'all can push each other because it's all about getting better. It's all progressing, not even as an athlete, but also as a human being.
Because it can't be personal, right? It can't be me versus
it's business.
You.
Yeah, it cannot be personal. It is business at the end of the day. If a player gets picked over you because he was a little better, and then they have to cut you to, and then you get traded somewhere else or sent somewhere else. That's the business side of it. But now you created a relationship or a friendship that when you're with one team and y'all play again, you can say hi on the sideline. Hey man, how you doing? How's it going for you now? I'm glad you're doing good. You could give that off. That's where I lived. That's why I was never afraid of being lower on the depth chart. I was fifth on the depth chart when I got to Lincoln. I got to Green Bay, or I got to Seattle. I was a third round pick, and I was a third round rookie trying to swim. And they drafted me and another running back, Michael Black out of Washington State, and then they free agent Ricky Waters from Philadelphia. So I was third or fourth on the depth chart. And I knew what I was. I was inventory, and if I didn't pan out, they would just cut me. But I knew I was going to pan out because that was my drive. And so, but I learned though that you have to make those connections because at the end of the day, they could help you grow. You just don't know, how much you could grow as a person.
Was that a learning experience? Was that different going from college to the pros? I mean, would Coach Solich have cut you?
No, I don't think he would have.
Well, obviously, but if hypothetically,
I say talent wise, no, because I learned how to adjust at every level of life, from being a kid to a teenager to a adult, young adult in college, and then now a professional. At that time, a professional. I just learned how to adjust along the way, and I remember something my dad taught me, and he told me this in Little League. My first couple of years, I played Little League ball, and it was just something off of observation. Him being a coach, him watching me play, me being a kid, him being a dad, and he said to me, he said, sometimes I see when you play, you don't play 100%, or you just do just enough just to win, to beat your friends or race them. He said, why do you do that? And I'm like, well, I do that sometimes because I'm just trying to have fun, and I'm not trying to beat my team. It's my friend. I'm trying not like to beat him bad. He said, okay. He said, we taught you well. He said, but when you get older, you got to take the gloves off. You got to kill. You got to go for the kill. You got to be aggressive. You got to be a competitor. But don't lose the friendship. Don't lose like how you might know that person. Understand that, but you got to realize you got to be out there to win, regardless of who you're competing against. And I was like, I got it. There's got to be competition, be it my brother, my friend, my cousin, but I'm trying to beat you. I'm trying to beat you. Period. That's what it is. I'm trying to win. But at the end of the win, if you win, then hey man, good job. I'm gonna give you a handshake. You got me. I'm gonna get you next time. I'm gonna get you next year. But good game, and then move on, because that's what competition is about. You're not gonna win everything. I mean, if you can win a lot of games, like guys in the NFL, like NBA, to like LeBron, to Michael Jordan, to Tiger, to Tom Brady, Pat Mahomes, he's on that roll already. He's only been in the league 5-6 years, and he got 2 Super Bowls. So, but if you could find that level, and Pat Mahomes, I think he has that mindset because he never really takes stuff personal. It's competitor, you being competitive, but don't take it personal because it's a business. Those teams, them players are out there trying to win just as well as you are. And you're gonna fight for whatever you try to do to get that win. And you just gotta, if you lose, respect. You won, man. Good job. Y'all got it this year. We're gonna try to get it next year from you. But it's a nice little banter of what you understand about competition. I think that's where some young kids may not understand what that means. Having that competition, but not having that where you got, I gotta dislike that player because he's on the other team or whatever. Now, if he ever gets personal, then maybe you go there, but only find out, why did you get personal like that? Maybe ask that question one day if y'all can have, hey man, we were playing a game and you got a little personal, you got a little hot at me. What happened? If you can get to that level. But just know that it's business. It's playing these games and having fun. You're being competitive, but also, like I said, it's a business thing where you gotta learn how to separate that stuff, and that's almost a learned thing as well.
He's Ahman Green. You know his accolades. Check him out, Ahman Green's Gamers Lounge at Ahman Green 30 as well. We'll step aside for just a second. Plenty more with the Husker Hall of Famer, the Packers legend, after this.
Spring is here, and it's time to wake up Judson. Judson Irrigation is eager and ready to get your sprinkler system up and running for the season. Judson's technicians will check for winter damage, adjust your sprinkler heads, and show you how to set your controller for effective sprinkling coverage. The Judson Irrigation team is here for you. Stay safe.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
They say that April showers bring May flowers, but May delivers a lot more than that at GE Landscape Supply. Stop by for the Spring Landscape Days sale with almost everything on sale. Get 15% off of mulch, 10% off decorative rock, 20% off of flagstone, 25% off of decorative cobblestone, 15% off of stone edging, and 10% off soils. Save up to 25% rain or shine from May 1st through the 6th at GE Landscape Supply for the Spring Landscape Days sale. Open Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m.
It's May, and that means the school year is almost over and summer road trips are on the horizon. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride. Summer road trips are just around the corner. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Hey guys, Nick Sainert here for The Body Shop. I recently had an incredible massage from Dennis and his team at The Body Shop, and now a massage for you can possibly turn into a free massage for your mom. That's right, with every service you receive in April, your name is put into a drawing for a free massage gift certificate that can turn into a wonderful Mother's Day gift for the mom in your life. Book your appointment at thebodyshoplincoln.com and stop by their location at 48th and A. The Body Shop.
Dive into good times and great savings when you take advantage of the above-ground swimming pool sale happening now at Bonzall Pool & Spa. All in-stock swimming pools are 50% off through the end of May while supplies last. You don't want to miss out on this hot deal. Visit our showroom at 33rd and Pioneers today. Learn more about the promotion at bonzallpool.com. Bonzall Pool & Spa, every day made better.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $24.11 per hour, which grows to $28.27 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $32.76 per hour with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Tailored Life is now open in Bennett. Make the short drive down Highway 2 for tons of items for your home, for both indoors and outdoors. Check out their variety of potted trees, shrubs, vines, perennials, and colorful annuals. Plus, porch pots and landscape lighting to enhance the outside of your home. Don't forget their home goods for indoors, plus convenient drinks and snacks, most which are produced locally. Visit Tailored Life today in Bennett and stay tuned to their Facebook page at Tailored Life 360 for food truck events coming up.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $20 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
The Empire brand is growing with ESC fabrication and sandblasting. ESC is your place for custom handrails, industrial and commercial painting, and more. ESC provides custom welding for aluminum and stainless steel and media blasting of all sorts. ESC is great attention to detail. They stick to deadlines and keep within your budget. If you can dream it, they can make it. Contact ESC Fabrication and Sandblasting in Waverly today at 531-207-9329.
Are you looking for a solid, stable career in assembly, CNC machining, or injection molding? We got you covered. Hi, Bob Williams, HR Director for Garner Industries, a world-class manufacturer with a 70-year history right here in Lincoln. And I just listed some great career opportunities that you can find by logging into GarnerIndustries.com. If you want top pay, excellent benefits, flexible work hours, and the opportunity to work in a clean, modern, air-conditioned facility with great people, contact me today by applying online at GarnerIndustries.com.
If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, listen up. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
We'll see a slight chance of thunderstorms today. It will be warm and breezy. We'll top out near 80. South winds at around 15 to 20. We'll continue with a chance of scattered thunderstorms tonight, a low dropping down to around 56. And scattered thunderstorm chances return again tomorrow, slightly cooler with a high of 75. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is the Ahman Green Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Yes, it is with you here for the next half an hour or so. I'm Austin Norman. Most importantly, he's Ahman Green. If you have questions for him, send them in 402-464-5685. AG, let's go there to start this segment off. Ted on the text line asks a question I'm going to add a little bit to because I want to be fair. He asks, what's the worst part about living in Green Bay? But what's the best and the worst thing about living in Green Bay?
The best thing obviously is, if you're a Packer fan, and even me, being retired, I'm like biased because I do a lot of talk shows. So having access to the stadium, to go to Lambeau Field, go to the games, hang out with the fans, go see the players sometimes when I can. Because you usually, like for myself, the best thing is I get Packer tickets at regular prices.
Woo,
not the Ticketmaster, StubHub, SeatGeek prices. Okay, so I love that, and I honor it, and I respect it. I'm never gonna displace that because it was obviously well earned being a Packer player for all the years. And then the worst place is just because it's Wisconsin, the weather. It's so cold most of the year. I believe just a few days ago, May 1st, it rained. Or no, it flurried like an inch
May
or 2
1st?
inches. Yes, they had a
Ugh.
flurry. My wife and some friends of mine that obviously live up there, they text me a photo of a nice little frosting of their backyards of about an inch of snow just a few days ago, or like 3 days ago. And I sent them a picture of Lincoln, Nebraska on Monday, which was like 78, and in the sky, and the sun was out. So that's the love-hate relationship with being a Wisconsinite. No matter if it's Green Bay, Milwaukee, or Madison, it takes a long time for Wisconsin to decide, or Mother Nature to decide, hey, let's get the whole state into spring instead of missing it. They kind of dip your toe in a little bit. Oh, here's an 80-degree day, and then no, you know what? We're gonna give you about 2 inches of snow or 4 feet of snow. Keep you in winter for another 2 days, basically.
You're a Nebraska kid. You know what winter's like. You know what seasons are, having grown
Yeah.
up here. Did your teammates from California, Florida, Texas, did it take them a while to get used to it?
Oh, 100%. I mean, same happened when I got to Nebraska, and had Texas teammates, had Florida teammates, had California teammates. They
Who
were
was the
like, man,
worst?
how
Who was the worst at Nebraska complaining about it?
complaining about it the worst? God, it's been so long. Me trying to think. Maybe my freshman, I would say freshman year, Tyrone Williams. He's
Okay.
like, hey man, this ain't right. This cold weather, man. I can't do it. I was like, hey man, this. He said, how could you do it? I was like, hey, I was born here for one. Let's just start there first. And in Green Bay, Bubba Franks, oh my God, he hated it. He's like, how you do this, Ahman? I'm like, hey, you up here with me? You got drafted here, bro. You gotta. He said, you went to Nebraska though. I went to Miami. I was like, I know, but it's just it's mind over matter. If you don't mind, it don't matter. He said, man, that's a lie. That's a lie. He said, stop lying to yourself, AG. I'm like, well, you got to say something, because if you don't, the cold weather's gonna win. You can't have that happen. We playing football. It's a physical sport. If you can't play in freezing temperatures, then you got a problem.
I mean, that's football, right? I mean, not that it has to be
100%.
that cold all the time, but
No.
it's football. Come on, you're going to play it in late fall. You're going to play it in winter. The Super Bowl's in February, for Pete's sakes.
Right.
It's going to be cold. What do you think you signed up for?
That's what I don't get. It was my teammates doing all. They were like, Emma, how you doing this? Even like now, since we're just now exiting as a family, officially moving out of Wisconsin, being here in Nebraska, and then working on a home down in Houston, Texas. My friends would come up for a game, and they'd be like, AG, how you still live here? I said, for one, we actually got stuck up here. We were supposed to make our move a long time ago, but we just got stuck up here. But even as a player, they're like, man, what do you do? I said, man, I don't think about it. That's like, this is my job. And things we used to do in the locker room before a game, or not before a game, as we came on the field, I would wear no sleeves, to send that message to the other team. They'd be like, oh, it's like that. I can't. They'd be coming out with with sweatshirts under their jersey and their shoulder pads, and same in Lincoln. They come out here, and Coach Solich was a rule, as a running back, and Coach Osborne said you cannot have no sleeves on, no shirts. You can have the pads to protect your elbows, but no sleeves. We need your flesh touching the ball, and so it was a non-negotiable guideline that was on our, as a running back, as a quarterback, all skill positions, running back, quarterbacks, tight ends, wide receivers, had to have no sleeves on so you could feel the ball.
Jay, I won't say he complains about his time in Buffalo. He's a Bill through and through, but he will always bring up there was nothing to do in Buffalo. Taking trips, across the border to New York City.
That's
Are you
it.
just hanging out in Green Bay? Is that similar? Is it different? You popping over to Milwaukee, Chicago at all?
It is similar to how Buffalo is. I mean, guys, it was so bad. For me, I'm simple. All I need, I have my Xbox, my PlayStation, a grocery store, and a movie theater. And obviously, my kids had school. We were good. That's all I needed. But everybody else, like coming from others, that's from California, Texas, Florida, Georgia, whatever, down south, or even guys from New Jersey, they want to, go out and have a good time, find a nice little spot to have drinks or whatever. I mean, they were so serious where if we had a 12 o'clock game on a Sunday, so 12 o'clock game was usually done by 3 o'clock, they would be hot telling it down to either Milwaukee or Chicago to hang out. And I'm like, it ain't this. I'm tired. Why do I want to think about even driving 2 hours to then drive back another 2 hours? So I want to roll 4 hours. I just played an NFL football game. I ain't got the time, the money, or the energy to even think about that. So guys used to do that because they be like, man, it's so boring in Green Bay though. Or they even go all the way to Chicago. I'm like, I can't do it, man. No, nope. I'm gonna be at home on my Xbox or sleep.
Well, yeah, none of them are the
That's where you
other.
find this guy.
None of them are the leading rushers in Green Bay history. So the joke's on them. Maybe they could have been the best of their position if they had stayed in Green Bay too. But they missed their chance. That's
100%.
what it comes up to.
There you go. Yep. I knew my priorities.
Amen. So I do have to ask you, of course, Green Bay Lambeau Leap. Do you remember your first one? Do you ever have anyone say anything or try anything funny when you did a Lambeau Leap?
I get groped 100%. The ladies were always grabbing my butt all the time. I don't remember my very first one. I had a couple my first year. I had some touchdowns and I jumped and I did the Lambeau Leap, but nothing that was memorable other than, oh man, I get to do this. But later, for years after the first year, I started like remember things like being groped, get my butt grabbed. And then one time I jump in there and I could feel all the, and it's, we're in Wisconsin. It's a Miller Stadium, Miller Lite. I could feel and smell the Miller Lite just going down my back. I'm like, oh, they're cheering, but they have the beer and they grabbed me and they spilled the beer. It's an accident, but I feel all that wet beer going down my back. Like, oh, let's go. Then I'm like, only in Wisconsin. You jump in the stands for a touchdown to do a Lambeau Leap and you take a Miller Lite bath. You can't have that nowhere else. Nowhere else. So I was like, be careful, guys, when you go up in the stands. You either go in a back full of beer or some lady's gonna grope your butt. So just be ready for it.
Is there a right way and a wrong way to Lambeau Leap, or is it just whatever the moment calls for, you just do it?
I love that you asked this question. It's the evolution of the Lambeau Leap. So when Leroy created it, I was in high school when he created 1992. He just jumped head first. He just high fiving the fans, right? And so when I got there, it was just that you just jump in any way you can. You just jump in your body head first, or you maybe hopefully you could flip around and like hang out, with the fan. So when I came back in 2009 from Texans, you had Donald Driver. I was listening to Donald, Jordy Nelson, Greg Jennings, James Jones break down. Like they were giving out, how at the Olympics in the diving competition, they do like 10, 10.8, 9.5. They were doing that. So when they would watch, so we played a game. Was that?
For the Lambeau Leap.
Yeah. They were doing Olympic grade judging on your Lambeau Leap. So the details were when you got your first push off, so you went up to grab the wall, and when you pushed off, it was a clean push up. So that was like 3 points. And then as you pushed up, did you do a clean turnaround so you could face the field instead of face the fans? And I'm like looking, I'm like, what is going on? Oh, it's going Olympic style. That's what I said to them. They started laughing. And I was like, what, y'all didn't do that? I'm like, no, we were just happy to get in the stands. I remember one time Russell Maryland, D tackle, he played at the U, and he was when he got to Green Bay my rookie year, he was probably in his probably his 10th or 10th or 11th, 12th year. He had played with the Cowboys, got a couple of Super Bowls, and he got a fumble return, picked it up, got to the end zone. Man, he didn't even make it up the wall, so he would have got a 0. And everybody, we harassed him that whole probably half that season. But like I said, in 2009. I was like, all right, so that means when I jump in the stands, I gotta be on point now, right? Y'all putting all this nervousness, anxiety on us now to be perfect when we just celebrate. This is just a celebration, you know that, right? And they're like, no, you gotta flip around, you gotta take, because then when you flip around, you can take that picture. This is Donald and them telling me, oh, you gotta take, they get that good shot, that Lambeau shot. I'm like, see, y'all doing too much. They turned it into, it's basically like, how if you grew up in a house that everybody was good singers or good, with the instruments, it's like you just do a little thing every weekend. You spend time with your family playing the guitar or something. I said, now you got to go American Idol on it and make sure you're trying to go for impress the judges. I'm like, nah, man, I'm not here for that. I'm older than all y'all. So I just get in the stands. That's the Lambeau Leap for me right there. Not all this judging.
Did anyone have to tell you to do the Lambeau Leap, or did you know once you got to Green Bay, you score, you jump?
It was already in my brain. I was like, I was telling myself from the time I got there in 2000 training camp or mini camps, I was like, yeah, I'm just telling myself in my head, all right, when I get in the end zone, I'm going up. I don't care where I'm at. And some of the wall is like really tall. It's like 6 feet or a little bit over 6 feet, and then some is like low 5 feet, 3 feet. So you could cheat on there. But I'm like, no, I'm going for the big wall. I got to get up there. Those are the fans. They support us. I think it's fun to get in the stands to do that with them. And then obviously you get high five your teammates and oh, that's cool. You get that. But no, it was always in my mind. I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely out. The question was to myself, how many I'll be able to do, Lambeau Leaps, while I'm a Packer. That was the question. I don't know how many I did because I didn't do it every touchdown. Sometimes I was either tired or I got back to the sidelines and forgot about it because I was so excited that I scored. Then I'm like, oh man, I should have Lambeau Leap. And I'm like, oh, well, forget it now. I don't want to get a penalty.
Smart man, save the 15 yards. That will come back and bite you. Fans will forgive it. You'll score again. You'll jump in again next time. But 15 yards is 15 yards, man.
Yeah, I will never hear from the coach from Mike Sherman or Mike McCarthy. They were like, "Hey, G, you know better. You a veteran. You know this." I'm like, "I know. I forgot, and I had to go back." I don't want that conversation. I don't want that conversation.
What were Sherman and McCarthy like?
They were not much different. They both didn't sugarcoat things, which I liked. I like a coach that tells me exactly what I need to do, and they got to be harsh about it. I could deal with it. I got tough skin. I've been in sports since I was a kid, so don't sugarcoat things. And Coach Osborne kind of was like that. He didn't sugarcoat things. Coach Solis was the same. He tell you like it is. Hey, when I remember one time, it was during spring ball. Going in my first year of spring ball, my freshman year, and one of the guys, I won't name the name of the running back, but I'll say this running back had the ball, ran out of bounds without hitting nobody. And this was my first time I think I saw Coach Solis like erupt, like he was angry. I saw this little dude get up out of his chair. He almost slammed, like he had the controller, the rewind and the stop and the play. He almost threw it because, but he stopped himself because if he breaks that, the guy's got to come in and replace it. He didn't want to do that. So he put it down hard and said, "Don't you ever in your life as a running back at this school run out of bounds without hitting somebody." And I'm like, ooh, okay. I mean, he wasn't talking to me, but I got the message clearly. Okay, that means I got to be physical no matter what. And that wasn't just it. He talked to that running back for like a good 2 minutes. I'm like, oh my goodness gracious. I'm looking away like, man, is this gonna end? Man, I'm like, dude, oh, this is rough. And so, but yeah, that sent a message to all of us in the room. Like I said, my freshman year. So I was like, all right, noted. We'll do that.
Loud and clear, Mr. Coach Solis, sir.
And I say Mike McCarthy with Coach Sherman. I say they both had a nice little like a comedy or humor. They had a nice little humor. Like I'll say Mike Sherman first, as I had him first. He was more of a dry humor guy. He's a guy from, he's from Boston, so he has a Boston accent. He kind of talked like this, and he couldn't say my name right. He'd be like, Ahman. And I didn't correct him because he's my coach, but everybody on the team like, Coach Sherman, it's Ahman. That's his name, Ahman. I'm like, but he has that Boston accent, so he can't really lose it. So the guys will just harass him about that. And then Mike McCarthy, he won me over like day one. We had a mini camp the year he got hired, the first mini camp, first meeting. He says to me, or not to me, I'm sorry, to the whole team. He has a team meeting. He goes out. He's talking about a couple other housekeeping things. Hey, mini camp is tomorrow. I'm glad everybody came in. This is who I am. This is my background. I was offensive coordinator with the Saints and with the Chiefs. And then he said, all right, these are some of the rules. He's going through rules of the team, what we're going to do, practice at this time, that time. And then he got into like the regular season and like how things are going to be for training camp. And then once the season starts, he was dropping in rules. And I'm like, wow, it's kind of early to be talking about, you know, regular season rules when it's only May. I was like, oh, okay. And he said the first thing out of his mouth said, you got the bye week off. Win or lose, you got the bye week off. And I'm like, oh. At that time in my career, 2006, Mike Sherman, Dennis Erickson, Mike Holmgren had never, ever said that early in the year. We usually got a heads up 2 weeks or to a week ahead of time. So that meant we were end up going online and buying astronomical prices of airplane tickets because it's only a day away. Because we just found out because we won against the Bears or the Chargers or whoever. But he's telling us. So Mike McCarthy, he reset the whole board when he said, you know what, it's May. I want y'all to plan ahead. You don't have to spend extra money. You don't have to worry about your family. The trip is already set. Do it now because I want y'all clear and already planned out everything so it's not stressful. And I'm just like, that's my dude. I like this coach right here. I like the way he thinks. And then the second thing he said out of his mouth was like, no rookie hazing. These kids already got to learn the playbook. They got to learn the scheme. They got to learn a new city, new friends, new teammates, new neighborhoods. Don't give them a hard time. And I'm like, which I didn't anyway. I didn't haze guys. I brought them in and I made them feel like home. Like, hey, I'm your guy. I'm the older running back here. If y'all need help with anything, because y'all my backup, so I got to make sure y'all know what I know. You know, y'all obviously we different running styles, but still, the knowledge you got to know what I know. And if the coach doesn't trust you, he's not going to play you. So I'm gonna make sure he trusts you because I'm gonna trust you because I know you could go on that field and do the job because I'm gonna teach you everything I know about our offense, the audibles, the adjustments, the stuff that Brett does that you need to know about that sometimes he does or don't realize he's doing that you can help him out. And I was like, when he said that, I said respect because that is a thing. Like I got harassed in Seattle, Ricky Waters, Reggie Brown. They gave me a tough time.
And they will say, look at your career, you're better for it, but it doesn't change the fact that it still happened.
Right. I mean, like I said, I was a big kid. I was 21. I could handle it, but I'm like, come on, y'all too grown to be acting like this. Y'all too grown. Y'all older than me. Ricky Waters was in his 30s at that time. And you messing, I'm 21. I bought all the donuts. And y'all don't eat none of the donuts? Don't even drink the coffee? You make me just go buy a dozen of donuts and let them go stale? Really? This what y'all doing? Really?
That's just a waste. That's just a waste.
Right.
I'm like, that's a waste.
Donuts. I mean, I ordered them the night before and I said, do assorted. You got glaze, you got sprinkles, you got your what's the ones? The Long Johns.
Yeah.
You got the glazed twist. You had the French cruller. You had the apple fritter, and nobody eats it. Really? And coffee and milk. Now I get you lactose intolerant, but come on, give me something. I just spent like $50 or $60, whatever it was, $100 a week I'm spending, and y'all not eating nothing. This is part of the hazing. I'm like, oh, okay. I just start eating it myself. I didn't drink the milk though. I'm lactose intolerant. I didn't touch that.
Good to know. Do not offer Ahman Green milk. We go side one last time. We'll come back, wrap up the Ahman Green show after this.
If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, listen up. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Spring Sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Sunday morning. It's quiet, not in a weird, too quiet way. Calm, peaceful, tranquil. You pour yourself that cup of coffee, you slice yourself a hearty chunk of one of Beatrice Bakery's breakfast breads. Now, maybe you're an apple streusel guy. Nothing wrong with that. I can respect that. Personally, I'm a turtle nut man. Something about those pecans. But the real ones know, don't sleep on that date nut bread. Sweet, but not too sweet. Nutty, not overly. The perfect morning treat. Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Spring is here, and it's time to wake up Judson. Judson Irrigation is eager and ready to get your sprinkler system up and running for the season. Judson's technicians will check for winter damage, adjust your sprinkler heads, and show you how to set your controller for effective sprinkling coverage. The Judson Irrigation team is here for you. Stay safe.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Tailored Life is now open in Bennett. Make the short drive down Highway 2 for tons of items for your home, for both indoors and outdoors. Check out their variety of potted trees, shrubs, vines, perennials, and colorful annuals. Plus, porch pots and landscape lighting to enhance the outside of your home. Don't forget their home goods for indoors, plus convenient drinks and snacks, most which are produced locally. Visit Tailored Life today in Bennett and stay tuned to their Facebook page at Tailored Life 360 for food truck events coming up.
Are you looking for a solid, stable career in assembly, CNC machining, or injection molding? We got you covered. Hi, Bob Williams, HR Director for Garner Industries, a world-class manufacturer with a 70-year history right here in Lincoln. And I just listed some great career opportunities that you can find by logging into GarnerIndustries.com. If you want top pay, excellent benefits, flexible work hours, and the opportunity to work in a clean, modern, air-conditioned facility with great people, contact me today by applying online at GarnerIndustries.com.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. It's May, and that means the school year is almost over and summer road trips are on the horizon. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride. Summer road trips are just around the corner. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit OakStreetCarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
Oak Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and we are celebrating a record sales month in April, and we're going to let it roll and crank up in the month of May. We have some big discounts and special interest rates going on this month on selected new in-stock Sierras and Silverados. Buy a new Silverado or Sierra, get $3,000 off or 1.9% interest. You heard right, $3,000 off or 1.9% interest. We have outstanding specials on all of our new and pre-owned GM certified units. So stop on in and see us or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. New discount, must trade in and finance with the roof credit.
Hey, it's Nicklin Hames from Nebraska Volleyball. I hate wasting time in practice, and I want to help you stop wasting your time when you're looking for an electrician. High Electric has been serving the area for over 30 years for both residential and commercial properties. They are experts in everything like remodeling, new additions, hot tub installation, and more. And they take jobs from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6606 or learn more at high-electric.com.
The Ticket Water Cooler.
Josiah Alec coming home, and again, I don't think this is a class full of people that absolutely wow you, but it's we're talking about fits. Nebraska basketball has had some players under Fred Hoiberg. They just haven't really fit together.
You've got a good base.
I think it's going to be tough to get minutes on this squad. This might be as deep as a Nebraska basketball team as we've seen in quite some time.
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of a team that had 11 players who played a decent amount of minutes for whatever college they were at the Division I level last season.
This is the Ahman Green Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That's right. Back one final time with the man himself, Ahman Green, here on 93.7 The Ticket. You see our streams, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Also listening on our free app. Always a good thing for you to check out. All right, Ahman, we asked you about the difference between Mike Sherman and Mike McCarthy, the quarterbacks you played with, specifically in Green Bay, Brett and Aaron. Similar, different? What was that like?
I would say definitely different. I remember '05, the year he got drafted, Aaron. Like halfway through the season, I heard Brett make a comment, and it wasn't really. It was a generational type of comment, and it was funny because it's when iPods first came out. It was around that time because Aaron had an iPod, and being his age, that's all he had was his buds in all the time. And Brett made a comment, God damn it, why don't he take his buds out? I don't know if he's listening to us or what. I was like, I just laughed when I heard him, and I just kept walking. I was like, this is funny, you know. But no, they had like for whatever you saw yourself, Austin, to what they narrated through the media, like they had a pretty good relationship, and it was like that competition thing I talked about earlier. You know, in the locker room, in the same room, you're in a quarterback room, and you're in a pretty heavy, talented quarterback room here in Green Bay at that time. You know, you have Brandon Aaron, and you have some guys other that late came later. I know what's his name. I can't remember. One kid was from LSU. We have another kid from I think Alabama. We had on the roster, but what I knew before that, before Aaron got there, any quarterback, like when I got there in 2000, we had Brett was starting. We had Matt Hasselbeck. We had Aaron Brooks, and we had Doug Peterson
Mm.
in 2000. Those are, four quarterbacks that are starters, literally.
Mhm.
Once they left Green Bay, they became starters.
I still think Green Bay, since they gave Seattle Hasselbeck, I still think they came out on top with you, but that's just my opinion.
Right. So that was pretty good room there. And so what I saw, like I said, when I saw that with Aaron and that little and Brett's little exchange, and then when you get older, now older Aaron, where it's still him, but he's obviously older only because like what I saw when he was, I say a kid coming in 24, 25 or whatever he was, and he was still that kid with the headsets on, doing his thing. And as a leader now, 18 years before now being a Jet, he still did his thing. He was always, the fact that he went to Cal Berkeley, where they always push the envelope, very political, very outspoken community there in Northern California. Is it that? It might be that. And but it's like it's for the good because it showed me how this generation of athletes, not just in football, but in baseball, basketball, whatever sport, hockey, tennis, Olympic sports, that they spoke their mind and they didn't care about the repercussions. And not that they didn't care about the repercussions in terms of the fan base or who they were, but they just did it because that's what they felt. And they were being honest, unapologetic about it. And that's how he was. And this whole process of him becoming a Jet, and from last year or 2 years ago, where he kind of set the flag out there, sent the message out there like he wanted to be gone then, but he was always speaking his mind. If it was a game, if it was something that he was playing the media, whatever how you want to call it, either way, he was able to he controlled the narrative of his story. And a lot of athletes, I believe, definitely in our time, when I say our time, myself with Dorsey and Gilbert and Brett, when we were playing, we didn't do that a whole lot. We didn't speak up, we didn't speak out. We had some guys that, I had T.O., Dan Marino every now and then. As a kid watching him making bold statements in basketball, Dennis Rodman, Isaiah Thomas, speaking their mind, and sometimes that worked it worked for them, and sometimes it didn't work for them. But as an athlete, you're always thinking like, man, if I say this, and then you kind of get into like politics and stuff. So you got to be careful of what you say. But if you're just saying something just pure from the heart of how you feel about a situation, be it a football situation, a social situation, just obviously just know how you need to say it. And that's what I think Aaron did. He said things sometimes if it had to do with football, he was talking to how he felt about the situation. And of course, every fan, all the fans, or majority of fans will not like that. because they like, why is this athlete speaking? And it's like, no, it's different now. We can speak. We always could speak. We just didn't. Some of us were probably fearful of what might happen to our careers because of that. But now the mic is in the athlete's hand, from Serena to Venus to Aaron to
Osaka.
yeah, they are speaking out, and I love it. I love when I see. I remember the young ladies from LSU after they won the championship, they were getting a little flack back for the way they celebrated because of was it Karen Clark that Iowa celebrated one way when she was beating the other team. So they handled that well. They spoke their mind about it, and to see that where it's a generational change of, you know what, I'm gonna just keep my mouth shut. I'm gonna not say nothing, but where these athletes today are like, you know what, no, I'm gonna say something. And if it bothers people, that is not my fault, but I'm gonna say this. And I'm not saying it to harm people. I'm just saying this so people know how I feel about it and where I stand on certain topics. And I love that athletes today are doing that.
That's awesome. Well, Ahman, as always, the hour goes too fast. It's
Yes, it
awesome picking your brain. Thanks, as always, for your time. Plenty more to get into. I want to talk to you about that receiving core you talked about, your curriculum. I'm curious as to what that entails at some point. So obviously we got plenty more to come with Ahman in the future. Ahman Green's Gamers Lounge. Check him out. Twitch
and YouTube.
Twitch and YouTube. At Ahman Green 30 on Twitter. Hit him up. Follow along. Play along. Get in contact with AG. As always, it's been a blast, AG. We'll do it again next week. Thanks, man.
All right, Austin. Talk to you later, man. Peace.
For Ahman, I'm Austin. Turn it over to Ticket Weeknights here for the rest of the night. Harrison will be in. Got a great lineup for you, as always. For the Husker Hall of Famer, Packers legend, I'm Austin Norman. We'll talk to you later.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top-shelf liquor to crowd-favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
Tailored Life is now open in Bennett. Make the short drive down Highway 2 for tons of items for your home, for both indoors and outdoors. Check out their variety of potted trees, shrubs, vines, perennials, and colorful annuals. Plus, porch pots and landscape lighting to enhance the outside of your home. Don't forget their home goods for indoors, plus convenient drinks and snacks, most which are produced locally. Visit Tailored Life today in Bennett and stay tuned to their Facebook page at Tailored Life 360 for food truck events coming up.
Vershawn Jackson for Brandt Excavating. Brandt's been in business for 29 years, and they specialize in a variety of things. If you're looking for someone to get the job done in precision demolition, excavating, trucking, mass